Hello, my name is Coco. I'm a health and wellness coach, and I'm hailing from a gorgeous Auckland, New Zealand. I'd like to take a moment to remind you to be calm, to be well, and to be healthy. So, I am in my final stretch of isolation. Day 14 will be complete at 6 p.m. tonight. It has been a lot of fun in lockdown, isolation. So I've made a few friends, had a lot of laughs, had two verbal altercations. One which, as I discussed yesterday, actually had a good outcome in terms of the conflict that arose. Actually created the impetus for Carolyn to become a lot more confident in who she is. So I guess that is poignant to actually state that conflict isn't always negative. If conflict augments a process, and if conflict is used to, used for elicits a positive result, then conflict is a good thing, and it is absolutely necessary in terms of innovation. So if things were hunky dory way back when we were just walking around and we just discover fire, well then we'd still be in our furs and with our clubs. So conflict actually produces what we're currently living in, a technologically advanced world, and it's also ensured that people have the capacity to think and to create. And unfortunately, the downside of that is conflict again, warfare. So, pros and cons for everything. Definite con for myself. I meant to lead with pros, but I'll go with cons now that I've started. A definite con has been the food. Far too much sugar and a little bit more fat than I'm used to. So, whew, there's a cultural shift that needs to occur. New Zealanders, or the food manufacturers, actually, and that's governed by the government. And putting sugar into food to create an addiction, to create dependency, to create the second most obese country in this world. So excess sugar, excess fat does have a detrimental impact, not just externally in terms of what people look like, but also internally. And there's a negative feedback loop that creates what we have now, an obese society, and it's not just New Zealand. So New Zealand's second behind America, which is just marginally in front of Australia. So, and the truth of the matter is that obesity is just is a pandemic in itself. In fact, the greatest pandemic is stress. Make no mistake about that. COVID has killed over 500,000 people thus far in a relatively short period of time. Stress would, I reckon, just absolutely nail that. And stress is a lot of the cardiovascular diseases that we see, all stress related. A lot of the things like diabetes, stress related, and it's psychological as well as physiological in terms of diet and what's available to people. The desire to keep up with the Joneses. Definite downside of food. And I would definitely encourage people to be mindful of what they eat and to slowly reduce the intake of sugar. It's okay to have a little bit, but in vast quantities, it's actually really dangerous. Pros that I've made some friends. So this bracelet is from my friend Shabina. She also gave me, probably not, well, can't. She gave me a gold anklet. Which, she gave me, I was going to say, which is never coming off because I didn't know how to get it off. But yeah, so definitely made some friends, obviously for life, and there are some definite yeah, it's great to be able to connect with people in. So it wasn't diabolic. It's not like we were in prison, but in circumstances that many people may have experienced. But I definitely that this isolation is the first impact that it had. This is the first time it's had a personal impact upon me, and yeah, really, because Australia only got to stage 3, so I was still allowed out and about, and I was still able to exercise, and I was still able to go and visit people. Um, so it didn't have a terrible impact on me prior to. And let's be real, I'm in New Zealand. I'm not in like Indonesia or something. Once a third world country. This is even worse than Indonesia. Let's be real. So I had to basically keep to myself. Well, I do that anyway, so no biggie for me. And I had been busy, 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 so the time has flown helping other people. Unwittingly, I didn't help myself, so gonna have to dig deep and pull out some mastery with my assignments. Fortunately, as I write well, I'm going to rely upon that skill set to get me through, and for me to do as well as I can. So the other pro that has come out of this is going back to food, is that I realized that just how toxic a mental construct I once had in regards to my loathing of cooking. Yeah, don't ask. I may have mentioned it in my blog. I don't know, but yeah, really silly mental construct that I had that cooking was not for me. I've come to appreciate just how I cook in terms of I like crunchy things, I like freshness, I like things that I've taken for granted for so long. And it wasn't until I was here and had other people preparing my food that I've realized that these people are trained, I'm guessing, trained professionals, and more often than not I'm eating something and going, oh my god, I can cook better than this, and I hate cooking. So just goes to show that you really need to be grateful for what you have and who you are and what you do. So where am I going after this? I've got no idea. I've got no plans. I really should make some. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time this morning finding some place to go to at 6 p.m. when isolation is over. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to going and spending some time with my brother, who is the reason why I'm here in Auckland, New Zealand, because I must admit I've been having a holiday in Australia. Sigh. So I'm looking forward to seeing my brother and teaching him what I teach you and I teach myself, that if I don't have it here, I don't have it anywhere. Cheers.